Hello everybody. I am continuing with the series of describing the poem Death of a Naturalist by Heaney, which has been prescribed in Rhapsody, a collection of icse poems. To understand the poem, all year the flax dam festered in the heart of the townland. Green and heavy-headed, flax had rotted there, weighted down by huge swords. I've done a previous introduction of the poem. I've discussed the heading as well as given an introduction. Please go to the other videos and check them out. Here, flax dam means a pond used for rotting flax. The word festered is to decay or rot. Townland is a small division of land in Ireland. Heavy-headed meaning very large heads. Flax is a plant whose fibers are used for making linen, and they can only be taken out when they rot completely. The fibers are then pulled out. Weighted means burdened, or you could say oppressed. Sods meaning clumps of soil. The first three lines of the poem: all year the flax dam festered in the heart of the townland, green and heavy-headed, flax had rotted there, weighted down by huge swords. The poem starts with the description of a flax dam, a pond created for rotting flax that is situated in the poet's townland. I've told you what townland is, a small division of land in Ireland, and that is situated, this pond is situated in the poet's townland, and the flax dam is described as a place or as a thing that described as festering and rotting throughout the year, with large-headed flax weighed down by huge clumps of sod, meaning huge clumps of soil. Daily it sweltered in the punishing sun, bubbles gargled delicately, blue bottles wove a strong gauze of sound around the smell. Swelter means oppressive heat. Punishing means, of course, causing pain or some kind of hardship. Gargled means a bubbling sound. Blue bottles, it is a type of a fly. And gauze means a very thin, translucent fabric. The flax dam is subjected to the punishing sun every day, and the heat causes the bubbles to form and blue bottles to make a strong buzzing sound around the pond. There were dragonflies, spotted butterflies, but best of all was the warm, thick slobber of frog spawn that grew like clotted water in the shade of the banks. So despite the unpleasant conditions of the flax dam, there are still beautiful creatures that can be found there, such as dragonflies and spotted butterflies. However, the poet is fascinated, and his favorite thing is to find in that flax dam is thick frog spawn that grows in the shade of the banks. Slobber. What does slobber means? Slobber means saliva that is drooling from the corners of your mouth. And frog spawn is the jelly-like eggs of a frog. They're surrounded in jelly. Coming back to the poem, here, every spring I would fill my jam pot fulls of the jellied specks to range on windowsills at home, on shelves at school, and wait and watch until the fattening docks burst into nimble swimming tadpoles. Jam pot fulls meaning a sort of a jam jar. He would fill the frog spawn in jam jars. Jellied meaning a gelatinous form. Specks means very tiny spots. Range to place in a row or a series. Fattening, growing or gaining weight, and nimble means quick and light in movement. So in these lines the poet describes how he would collect the jellied specks of frog spawn every spring and bring them home to watch them develop into tadpoles. He was fascinated by them. And so he would collect them, and he would keep them on his windowsill, on his own windowsill, and carry them to school and keep it on school shelves to watch them grow into tadpoles. Miss Walls would tell us how the daddy frog was called a bullfrog, and how he croaked, and how the mammy frog laid hundreds of little eggs, and this was frog spawn. You could tell the weather by frogs too, for they were yellow in the sun and brown in the rain. The poet remembers his teacher, Miss Walls, who taught him and his classmates about the different types of the frogs and how to tell the weather by their color. Here, the poet applies a metaphor. This line, the daddy frog was called a bullfrog, and how he croaked, and how the mammy frog laid hundreds of little eggs, and this was frog spawn. Because there is a comparison between the mammy frog and the bullfrog. They are similar, yet they are not literally alike. So here the poet remembers his teacher who taught him and his classmates of the different types of the frogs and how to tell the weather by their color, because they were yellow in the sun and brown in the rain. Then one hot day, when the fields were rank with cow dung in the grass, the angry frogs invaded the flax stand. I ducked through the hedges to coarse and croaking that I had not heard before. The poem takes a turn here when the poet describes how the frogs became angry and invaded the flax stand on a hot day. He hears a new and a coarse croaking sound that he has never heard before. So these bullfrogs, suddenly they had invaded the flax stand in large numbers, and their croaking was harsher and very, very rough. Thank you for watching. Please continue to watch more of such videos. Bye for now.